This is for Libra. Three of Swords wanting to come out. Listening to your intuition. This is your inner knowledge. Back of the deck, listening to your intuition. Sharing your resources is a service card, essentially, because as we see, this is homeless people, so this can be a balancing or a justice of basically balancing the scales of the poor with the rich. The Six of Pentacles is also very giving, so you could be at a point in your life in August where either you're wanting to, but also what's interesting is that you see how he's providing, he's giving money to the poor because they're obviously in rags and they're homeless. But also I just noticed, I've never noticed this, but like his attire too, it has like stitches. So that's very interesting. The Six of Pentacles is essentially you could be at a point in August where you're able to actually provide extra income for others who are at a lesser point than you. And always with the Six of Pentacles, because of the scales, this always tells me like it's a balancing of scales of the collective. And so you could be put in a situation where you feel like you have a purpose to service the collective and balance and providing that balance. This can be justice to the public in regards to like what's out there in the world, and especially right now in the world that we see what's going on right now. This could be like you feel a call to volunteer or to invest in a volunteering opportunity where you're like providing a little bit of income to a business or to a company where you're helping out you're having a bigger impact on the collective, like on the community. Six of Pentacles always gives me like an Aquarius energy because it's about how the collective, it's about how we as a human race, how one person provide a bigger impact and how we can shift from that, just those 4 coins, you can provide a bigger impact. But also the Six of Pentacles tells us, because you see it's a Six of Pentacles, but he's also only providing 4 of Pentacles to the person. It's like balancing your own wages with what you give. So it's like you might have a calling, a purpose to give out to others, but definitely balance that out with like giving back to yourself first and then giving back to the community. If you are in a point of service, or if you feel like you're in a point of service where you want to help out the public, or you want to provide an impact in a way that's helping the public. We will see where this goes, but Six of Pentacles is always about like, could be potentially balancing your finances, but balancing, for me personally, this is about balancing the personal with the collective and providing it with, like if you have the finances, like the rich, balancing out the energy with the poor, and like balancing out like the collective energy, the duality of the extremes of the poor with the rich, and creating that relationship with finances that one might have more than the other. And if it's like, if you have the opportunity, if you have the extra income to actually provide that balance in closing that gap, a duality of our system, then do it. So it's like, it's also like justice in our system. You might be having a call for justice, like justice in your community, justice in the collective. You might be having a call to provide that balance. You're leaving something that's not emotionally fulfilling you anymore. This is interesting because you're giving up your finances and you're leaving something. So this might be like essentially like you're having to move somewhere else. You built a foundation, but it's like you have this extra income, and in order to loosen your baggage, you give it out to other people in order that your trip north is going to be lighter. But this is Eight of Cups is about you built up a foundation, you realize in the completion of it or midway through completing it, you're like, actually this doesn't even fulfill me anymore. I don't know why I'm even fucking doing this. It's basically realizing midway, like, actually, what am I doing? This doesn't actually fulfill me. You're moving on. It's like that you see the moon. It's like the illusion. You're creating this like illusion. You're like telling yourself, no, I built it up. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. No, you don't. You can move on. You're providing income to building up something, and then you're realizing, like, actually this doesn't emotionally fulfill you. You don't actually get anything from giving yourself away to your finances away to other people, and then you move on. What do we see here? Like, you're taking up all the tasks. You're taking up all, so this could be like a corporation that you're part of, like you're giving to the poor, and it's like it's not emotionally fulfilling you, and you have to do like all the tasks. Or this could be a business, like this could literally be anything, and you're the one that's like, it's in order for there to be a balance, in order for there to be a justice, you have to be the one that takes up everything, and it's exhausting, and you're like, this doesn't even emotionally fulfill me anymore. Like, why am I providing my bank account to this? So this could essentially be like, in order to keep this balance with whatever this is, like something to do with finances, something to do with like materialism, to sustain your foundation of materialism. Materialism doesn't have to be bad. It could be just like money, finances. But it's like you're feeding into something that's like not emotionally fulfilling you. You're not getting anything from it because it's not giving back to you, and you have to take, it's like this burdensome, like, I have to take up all these tasks, I have to take up all these passions in order to continue. So it's like you're feeding your own personal bank account in order to create this balance that's very universal. Like, you have this mission for the collective to balance out from the rich to the poor. Like, this is like bigger than life notion, like this is the bigger than life purpose, and you're like, this isn't actually fulfilling me anymore, or I'm not actually getting anything from this. Or it could just be like the business that you're with, the company that you're with, it's not like you're not emotionally aligned with it. Like, your purpose is still aligned, but it's coming to the point where like you have to. And also this card is about like basically like burnout, like because he's not even looking at where he's going. So he's just like, oh, I just need to complete this task. I need, like, he's not even paying attention to where he's going. So it's the sense of like, oh, I just need to wake up and go to work, and like your whole life just becomes like day to day and like robotic, and there's no purpose in it. So I think like whatever you're putting your money into, the imbalance is actually in your emotions. The imbalance is actually in your emotional state, where you're realizing, this actually is not, I have the finances to support this, but it's not supporting my emotions, my emotional fulfillment. And that's with the moon, that's where the illusions start coming out, and you're starting to realize, I'm walking away from this. Seeing a tower. So the whole foundation is coming down. You're like, I'm walking away from this, and like I said before, this might be just you. The tower happens because maybe you were the foundation that were keeping the shit together. Because for some reason I was getting like you're the one that's providing that, like it's like the barrier with the rich and the poor, and not the barrier, but it's like gap and that balance with the rich and the poor. And I'm getting that this has to do with like a church, not a church, but it's like it has to do with like a service where you're providing that balance and that service to those that don't have it. You realize actually there was no foundation at all, and the tower crumbles. But guess what? You walking away, the tower crumbling actually is leading you to the 10 of Pentacles. Wow, this is like getting everything you want. This is like family supporting you. This is like the universe supporting you. Loyalty you see with the dogs. This is like financial abundance in your family. So the tower crumbling, usually we're afraid of the tower. Why? Because we're like, well, it symbolizes instability. Excuse me. It symbolizes instability. It creates chaos, like everything's in disorder. But for you, Libra, that chaos, that disorder is actually providing abundance. which is really fascinating. What the fuck does this mean? The Tower, the Ten of Pentacles. Right now, Libra, it is essential for you to embrace the change that is coming and to recognize it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. So, Libra, this is suggesting for you that material stability and financial success are not permanent, and it can be taken away at any moment. This combination is urging you to examine your values and priorities and recognize that true wealth and stabilities come from within and embrace new possibilities and opportunities. So that would signify if like it was like the Ten of Pentacles with the Tower, because it would create like, just because you have that stability doesn't mean it's stable. But we got the Tower before the Ten of Pentacles, so this tells me that this is why how we have the cards is really significant and important. Otherwise, that's why the story is really important. So the Tower before the Ten of Pentacles, this tells us that like actually destruction, chaos, the foundation not working actually is going to be for your benefit, because it's going to make you realize what's not working, and it's going to bring you into abundance. It's going to bring you into growth. Because what is the Ten of Pentacles about? Well, this is a symbol of wealth, stability, and legacy, because this is a card that is Libra, that is depicting family gathered together in front of a grand estate. So this is representing the comfort and prosperity that comes from generations of hard work and perseverance. This is representing for you, Libra, financial stability, success, and the reward for long-term dedication and effort after foundations deteriorate, after the chaos and everything's falling away, and you realize it isn't emotionally fulfilling you. And this could essentially be like you're an individual, like you have because look at these cards, they're complete opposites. Because this is a person that maybe you come from a rich family, but then you're like, well, I'm gonna walk away because my purpose is to create that balance. So that's why I was getting like, oh, you're the mediator basically between the rich to the poor, and you're creating that balance in the collective. And I mean, that's like a really big responsibility. And so that's why I'm getting this like Aquarius energy, because we're in this Aquarius age, and especially if you have North Node in Aquarius, you have like this bigger than life mission to the collective, and seeing everyone as like we're all part of making life on earth for each other, and it's not like one person for themselves. Kind of, that's the Aquarius energy. Connecting the cards from beginning to end, we're seeing that what's gonna happen is I'm seeing like you might have separated from, if you have had a privileged childhood, a privileged family, you might have separated because you felt like you needed to really expose yourself to, I mean, for some reason I'm getting like Jesus was very abundant and rich, but he chose to separate himself and service those who were more unfortunate. So I'm getting like that vibe. But this can also be you decided to separate, and then you realize like it's actually not emotionally fulfilling you, which like how would servicing those who are have less not be emotionally fulfilling, and then like completely deteriorates your foundation of your belief systems and everything that you built on, and then it creates abundance for some fucking reason. I don't even understand these cards. So yeah, if you could help me comprehend how this will make sense in your life, that would be fucking great. Like, that would be fucking great. What we're seeing here is that you're giving to others, and by giving to others, there's an unemotional, and I think it has to do with like the relation you have with the people. Like, you're in a business, or you're giving to a business that gives to others in the sense of like volunteer work, and then you realize like it's actually not emotionally fulfilling you, and it's completely breaking down your foundations of, it could be deteriorating, like in the sense of like what, this could be like you think, oh, society expects me to give to the public, so that's what I'm going to do, but actually it's not emotionally fulfilling, and it deteriorates your foundations of what you think will emotionally fulfill you in this life. And by that standards, it's fine. It's fine, because guess what? You understanding what not emotionally fulfilling you and it completely creating chaos and deteriorating what your belief system and your foundations of what you have created to create that so-called emotional fulfillment that is completely deteriorated anyway, it actually creates abundance. So I think you're good, Libra. Like, there is going to be a deterioration, but because the Tower is about deteriorating and replacing with something good, just let the deterioration of your foundations happen, because it's going to lead to abundance. It's going to lead to a financial reward of where you have everything, like family fulfillment, financial fulfillment from your family. It's showing that it will get, the 10 of Pentacles is showing that it will get better, but there will be a catalyst event that leads to the change and happens very quickly. And so this change from like complete deterioration and destruction and everything breaking down and falling away actually leads to you getting everything you want. Trust that in whatever event that you realize like your foundation isn't emotionally fulfilling you, that the actual deterioration of that foundation is actually going to create something new and replace you having nothing with you having everything.